staff of practitioners down on Plymouth.
Good morning, humanity. It's November 12th, 2018, and this is Mondays with Bev and Paul. And hi, my name's Paul.
Hi, my name's Bev.
And we had to do this again because somehow the microphone wasn't working. So we're going to do it again. We are going to take off and have this great show. So it's actually would be good to start over again because my mind sort of gets boggled by this question.
Yours? I think you understand it a little bit better than I do.
What is relation of BioTouch to placebo?
Wow.
It's a very interesting question from an article written in the New York Times, and so we'll get to that in a minute. But first, we do want to share again what happened this weekend, and so there it is. You went to this little...
I went to an event that Howard Chait, who is our certified practitioner in Phoenix, we went up to support him at this, it's a walk, run for peace that was hosted by a nonprofit in Phoenix called the Center for Human Living. And Howard will be doing some BioTouch sessions at their center.
Yeah, he was given a little room or something.
Yeah. It's just, and so we just met the most wonderful people. The family that owns or runs this center I'm so excited that we're going to be working with them.
Wow, perfect.
Yeah.
So, and it turns out that Howard will be doing a workshop at that place, his first one. We'll be there. Well, maybe. I don't even know if it's going to be there because I don't know if they're open.
Right. I don't know if it's going to be
there. So
there.
he is going to be doing a workshop. If you want to take that workshop in Phoenix, December 9th, go to our justtouch.com website. Under global trainings, you'll see it there, and you can register for that. If you're a massage therapist, you can get 4 CE credits.
Yes. That's great.
And also this month, I think the end of this month, is a workshop in the Netherlands.
Oh boy,
yes.
That's going to be cool.
With our longtime certified practitioner, Farial. Yeah. And she actually translated the manual into Dutch.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay.
So we have a Dutch language manual because of her, and it's the first time she's done a workshop in a long time.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm excited about that too. That's great.
So we're going to get to our topic. What is the relation of BioTouch to placebo? And this idea was given to us, let me move over here, by an article that was written in the New York Times. Actually, it was published Sunday. You can find it online if you go to, just look up New York Times placebo. And it was written by Gary Greenberg. Just wanted to read his little lead-in sentence. The title, What If the Placebo Effect Isn't a Trick? New research is zeroing in on biochemical basis for the placebo effect, possibly opening a Pandora's box for Western medicine.
Oh boy, here we go.
Here we go, and it's interesting because we're on the cutting edge of that. You know, we're right in there with the old paradigm of you used to have to throw away the placebo.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's just fake. It's just the mind. But what are we finding out? We're finding out that there's a new direction with the placebo. We want to go over some of that as we try to understand this article that I read 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's some of the key things that we did find out.
Yeah.
First of all, placebo is most effective with stress-related problems.
Right.
Stress-related diseases and conditions.
I found that very interesting, actually.
Many people have thought BioTouch is placebo. Many people have defended that it's not placebo. Well, to us right now, reading this article, you know something, we could actually say BioTouch is placebo.
And that's okay.
Yes.
Because now they're finding, like what you were saying, well, they used to throw it away because it has something to do with the mind. That's the whole premise now.
Right. If you think it, then it's so.
Right.
Well, we're going to tell you some of the things that were said in here about it, but we want to show you about stress-related diseases and how placebo effect has an effect on that. And one of the things that we did was on our research, Dr. Stevenson came up with the stress-related cycle. And she showed all the stresses in our life, everything in that upper half of the circle, and all those things, relationships, environment, diet, prescription, genes, psychological stress, emotional things, childhood trauma, socioeconomic, unemployment, all those things created what she called activation of the accelerated aging pathways, which created chronic stress. And those then move into cortisol dysregulation and immune dysregulation, which create in us all kinds of diseases, including dementia, cardiovascular disease, infection, benign tumors, mood disorders, and obesity. All the things we hear all over, most of
Right.
inflammation, fibromyalgia,
gosh.
all those things are all part of that immune dysregulation. She found when you put BioTouch into that through clinical research, hormone testing, huge questionnaire, put BioTouch into that chronic stress cycle, and you improve the circadian pattern of cortisol release, which improves the quality of life, and you increase what's called interleukin 12 to improve immune system function, increase the activity of genes that fight infection and cancer. Right
Wow.
there, that's the first step of.
And even allopathic medicine has, confirmed that 80% of all diseases are stress based.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just.
So they found also in a lot of the study, what they're finding is you can take someone that has like IBS, a digestive disorder, you can give them a sugar pill. You can tell them that it's a sugar pill, but has been found to be effective in treating IBS, and people get better.
I know. Wow.
So they're moving into they're finding these enzymes. They have all these terms for it. It's really almost a scientific article, but there's all these enzymes and all these ways that they can test which people would be most benefited more by placebo than they would a medication.
Right.
Sometimes a medication creates the disease more, the placebo's better.
Yes.
So
it's more pure.
Yes.
You don't have all those side effects that you do with the medication.
Right.
For one thing.
And so one of the other things they talked about was the interaction between the healer and patient, the doctor and patient. Placebo is a what do they call it? A biological response to the act of caring.
Wow.
That's an important part that we're finally bringing into the medical model. And BioTouch does that immediately with that greeting. And we have research to show that too. Here's research we did with Dr. Schwartz. And the blue line, the bottom line there, shows how cared for. It says feeling good, but the question was how cared for do you feel? Was all in the mid 5s, 5 to 6. And after a session, 20-minute session, people feeling cared for were up into the 8s. That's a huge difference, pre and post session.
Yeah.
So, that in itself, BioTouch, it brings people that sense of feeling cared for, that as an application of love,
yeah,
putting love into action.
And we're all having conversations about that's a big element that's missing in our lives is, so many people on this planet do not feel cared for, and I'm excited because one of the things that I got from this is that the old thinking that, let's throw this out because it's just the mind. For me, that's the whole point here, because the mind is actually at that level is what can help change what's going on. Dr. Bruce Lipton, I've mentioned him before. He's kind of a pioneer in this. Relates to that we can change the story of our DNA by caring more for our bodies, for our whole, all those parts of ourselves. So for me, it's like, well, yeah.
All the parts of ourselves. What do you mean?
Well, not just down to the cellular level, which is everything, but, more emotionally and nurturing ourselves. That's what he is really saying. We can, he uses the term loving ourselves, loving the cells in our body can actually change the story from dis-ease to health. Yeah.
So this research project that this Gary Greenberg was talking about, he actually was interviewing the director at Harvard University, has a special department on placebo effect and researching it. They have, I looked on it, it was like 30 or 40 different fellows in this program, everything from doctors to surgeons to PhDs, psychologists, psychiatrists, all doing different researches on how the placebo effect can help in the medical model of health and well-being. And so one of the things they talked about too is it seems, so they talked about uh, each modality is a ritual.
Yeah, I was just thinking about
Yeah.
that.
Each modality is a ritual. Well, BioTouch, in a sense, that little book that we give you, that's a ritual. It's just a way to get started. Just to say to love somebody and they're going to be healed, that's really difficult. Because it's a concept of what does that mean and all of our upbringing about love. But BioTouch is an application of that. When you reach out with these two fingers and lightly touch someone on the skin at that solar plexus, that's a powerful ritual that opens up all kinds of possibilities.
Yeah, so, I was reminding myself when I read that in the article that the definition, the more ancient definition of a ritual is a manifestation of an inner truth, an outer manifestation of an inner truth.
Interesting.
So for me, because we hold that BioTouch is a promise, it's a hope, it's based in caring and loving each other. And so those sets of points that's a ritual, right?
Yes.
And we're applying those fingers to those areas of the body that begin something, and the response is eventually manifested in the body.
Right, because what it talked about, that ritual seems, they go on to talk about it seems that if the mind can be persuaded, the body can sometimes act accordingly. So bringing together what you just talked about, the love, the ritual, the truth. What is the truth? I mean, big thing written in our Bible. What is the truth?
Right.
We don't know that. We can't even talk about that here. But it seems that if BioTouch has any ritual to express that truth, that's why we really don't feel we can charge for it, because
Right.
it's a truth all of us possess. It's a love all of us possess. It reawakens in us that opportunity to put love into action without having to philosophize about it, figure it out. That's the placebo thing that's going to be difficult. If you start making placebo scientific, now it's materialistic.
Yeah.
Now you start taking all these concepts of love and truth, placebo, and you make them clinical.
Right.
That's why he's saying it could open up Pandora's box too.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Which is another reason it's important for us to get BioTouch out there to everyone quickly, because before it becomes another ism.
I know. Oh.
And it's just something you can do. You can do it in front of the TV set. Give us a opinion of what you think about placebos. If you're on here with us, Terry Hardy says, watching you from San Juan Airport. Can't wait to get my BioTouch this week. Hi, Terry.
See you Thursday for your session,
So
Terry.
are you going to get it in an airplane or a placebo airplane?
Yeah, right.
I was talking to Jenny about that. In one sense, our whole life is placebo.
Mm.
It's a sort of a thing I've always worked with in my life. So that's why when people come into the center, or I stand in front of people that have this disease or this symptom, and we say many times, BioTouch appears to help the body heal itself.
Yeah.
Because it appears. We don't know how people get sick.
Right.
Any more than we know why BioTouch could even be effective. So even the placebo that they're going here about how it can help you heal, it moves into the whole thing of, why do we get these diseases?
Yeah.
What, if it's just a stressor, how do I trace that back to the stress that's creating the problem that's manifesting?
So getting back to the cause.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what Dr. Lipton's research was trying to tell him, that he shared with all of us, that changing the story is changing the whole cause of what created the disease in the first place. And that's a lot of work. But BioTouch, I've said it many times, it begins the process because I really do believe that it is a way for us to communicate, begin the communication with those cells in the body. And so we're always saying we don't need to know any of that. Thank goodness there's something that helps us step out of our ego, right?
So how is BioTouch going to be helped by this research with placebo, which, by the way, we're going to contact Harvard to see if they want to do some research with BioTouch.
Oh, man.
That would be awesome. But
cool.
how's it helping us now? Imagine if we show the placebo actually is a benefit, is a vital part of our healing and well-being. Doctors will start writing scripts for BioTouch. Get your BioTouch. Here, go home, have your wife or your husband learn to do this with you. Have your children learn to do this with you. It can be part of the medical model. It doesn't have to be alternative and complementary over here, or this woo-woo thing over here. It doesn't have to be psychic or spiritual. It can just be part of our healthcare program, as we say, our new line, a profound option in healthcare.
It's true. Well, on that note, did you want to just mention something about Dr.
Yeah, Dr.
Yes.
We had a Dr. Michael Blanchard almost 20 years ago. So he was way ahead of the curve, because he actually had us open a center up in Yuba City, California. He was the medical director at the local hospital and had his own shop. Short story of this is he would write scripts for his patients that had pain. And on the script, it would say BioTouch. He actually would withhold pain medications from people until they at least tried a couple of sessions of BioTouch.
Wow.
The interesting thing was he was so far ahead of his time, patients quit seeing him. They didn't want. So I'm excited about contacting him with this article and see what he's doing, and maybe re-hook up with him.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
But he was a maverick, and I think more and more doctors are You go to a yearly thing at the university where doctors come from all over the world to learn these things.
This new generation of doctors that's coming out, and they're already predisposed to looking at other possibilities within the healing, even the allopathic, and I'm so excited about what's happening. And Dr. Weil has been very in his integrative medicine college here at the U of A. Oh, yeah.
So one of the things that, to make light of this very difficult article, is this. They had this little picture on their website. I don't know if I'm allowed to show, but it's so funny. It's a bottle, right? For those who are just listening, it says Dr. Larry's empty bottle.
A cure-all.
A cure-all. And then it says dose as much as you want until symptoms abate. And there's 0 ounces in the bottle.
I mean, that's perfect, right?
Isn't it perfect? It's I just love that.
I know.
That photograph. So it's real important for us to teach you how to do BioTouch, placebo or not. And so we're just going to teach you that real simple set called the greeting. Because if you just do this, you're already starting a healing process. You're already creating a change in the deepest seat of consciousness.
The greeting is always performed at the beginning of each session. It's the only set that uses one hand and the only set that indicates which hand to use. The greeting is performed with the dominant hand. If you are right-handed, use your right hand. If you are left-handed, use your left hand. The greeting is made by touching at point 1, which is in the fleshy area just below the bottom of the breastbone or sternum. Hold this point for 6 to 8 seconds. Then, with the same 2 fingers, touch point 2 on the back. To find point 2, look for the big bone at the base of the neck. From here, move 1 to 1.5 inches to the left. This is point 2. Hold this point for 6 to 8 seconds. More than one associate may...
And then comes the son.
Comes the child.
So placebo or not, let's bring a little love back into our families, back into our relationships.
Yeah.
Let that be the healing pill.
That's the box that needs to be opened.
Yes.
Right?
Let's open that Pandora's box and share a little bit of touch with one another, a little bit of caring with one another, I don't know if you're as confused as we are now after reading this article, but again, it's the New York Times. Look up New York Times placebo. It'll take you to the article.
I think it's exciting. I think we're heading in towards a really exciting time in our thinking about healing and health and our, yeah.
So again, we'll put the link on the Facebook page for that article. But again, we appreciate you hanging out with us for another Monday. Here's BioTouch around the world.
Oh, that's cute.
In the phone booth.
I like it. It shows up in the darndest places.
So wherever you are, just reach out and touch someone. And my name's Paul.
And my name is Bev.
And we want to thank you all for joining us for another Monday with Bev and Paul.
Have a lovely week.